So this here's going to be a painting video for our Smash Captain on a bike. So he'll be toughness 5 normally, and then as a Salamanders, if we run him, he'll be toughness 7 with a Warlord trait and artifact. So if you like this, or if you have one you want to do up, and you want some ideas on how to paint it, please feel free to stay tuned to this video, and we'll show you how we did this one up. And then hopefully yours will look similar to that. So if you find this video helpful and you find it enjoyable, please feel free to leave a like or a comment at the bottom of the video, or subscribe to the channel. That always helps. And otherwise than that, we'll see you in a few minutes when we start our painting video for our Smash Captain on a bike. So this here is going to be a video on how to paint a Smash Captain. Now we're going to run him as, we're going to paint him as Alpha Legion, but we're probably going to run him as a Salamanders for now. Now, if you want to just do straight up Salamanders color, we just take what we start with here and overlay a nice green. If we want to do Alpha Legion, we're going to overlay a nice teal. The model itself is your typical biker unit. I magnetize the shoulder and put magnets on the inside of each of the arms. And so that allows us to put a Thunderhammer, but it's -1 to hit. So in cases in games where you don't want to put up with that, you can take a Chainsword. And we have a really great relic with the Teeth of Terra. That would work just as well for that. If we don't want to use the Chainsword, we can also use a Power Fist. And if we don't want to use the Power Fist, we can always just use the original arm from the bike and just have him riding the bike. We put a shield on the other side here. This shield is actually the kneecap piece from the Knight Preceptor. We ended up not doing it as a Knight Preceptor. We did it as a Chaos model. And so we had this knee piece free, and it was a non-intrusive way of putting a shield on him, because we're going to run him as Salamanders with the shield and the Thunder Hammer most of the time. We have an ability to make him toughness 5, and then that loops up to toughness 7, and then -1 to wound. Salamanders have a lot of great stratagems and warlord traits that we can use for this. So all we have to do is paint him up now. So the first thing we did with this model is we base coated him with our Leadbelcher paint, same as we always do. And I'll leave a link down below, as well as one right here, to show you just how we do the normal Alpha Legion armor, because we've done this a bajillion times now. So all we did there was then we took and we dry brushed on some Runefang steel over the top of that Leadbelcher, which brightened up the model, and we made sure to do all of the pieces as well. So the whole thing will match once it's finished. So once we're finished that, we'll meet back here in a few minutes and we'll go on to the armor color itself. So for the armor color for our Smash Captain on a bike, what we're going to do here is we're going to do the same thing we normally do. We're going to take a little bit of Akhelian green and do a nice light coat of that over all the armor pieces. And then we're going to switch over and add a light coat of Warp Lightning over the top. And then that will finish off our teal. If you wanted to make them a nice metallic Salamanders, all you do is do just a couple of coats of Warp Lightning over it, and you'll get that nice vibrant green with the underlaid metallics underneath. But in this case, we want Alpha Legion because it matches the rest of the armor we have. You know, flavor to taste, whatever you like, your mileage may vary. In any case, we're going to get started now on the Akhelian green, and we'll be back here in a few moments to show you how we've made up. So this is our Smash Captain now that we've finished with the Akhelian green. And as you can see, we did mostly the armor, the body, the chassis of the bike, as well as the shield, which we'll clean up, and so forth and so on. So as you can see here, we've got a nice shade of teal. What we're going to do now is add a little bit of watered down Warp Lightning over that, and that'll get us our Alpha Legion. So this is our Smash Captain now that we finished with the green color. So our armor is nice and Alpha Legion-y. So what we're going to do now is move on to the rest of the model. If you painted yours with a different Legion color, whether it be ultramarine blue or whether you did Salamanders over the top, either or, the rest of the video will apply to you. So the first thing we're going to do from this point on is come through and clean up all of the joints in the armor, as well as the casings on the bolters, as well as the tires on the bike. All of that with black. So we're going to take a base of Abaddon black, followed by a dry brush of Eshen gray. And we're just going to do both of those to clean up the model here, as well as touch in all that stuff there before we come through and do the trim at the end. So we'll do that now, and then that frees us up to do the metallics afterwards on the guns once the casings are done. So we'll do our black and be back in a few minutes. So this is our Smash Captain now that we finished with the black. So we did the stocks of the guns here, as well as all the tires and the joints in the armor. So what we're going to do now is just clean up the metallics again. We're going to take a little bit of Ironbreaker, and we're going to go back over, all of the parts of the gun, the barrels, the top parts, the iron sights, the cartridges here as well, and then all of the engines, the exhaust pipes, and the engine inside. Basically just all the metallics that are here, the hubcaps and such. Anything that isn't trim, we're going to clean that back up with Ironbreaker for now, and then that'll get us ready to move on to the rest of the model. So this is our Smash Captain now that we finished with the Ironbreaker. So all we did was we just cleaned up all along the trim, all along the handlebars, the engine blocks, the exhaust, so forth and so on, just cleaning up that. We left the iron halo here unpainted because we're going to come back and do that with gold later. But for the most part, that's all we finished. We left this because we're going to do that with our trim when we do the rest of the trim. And then, of course, we came through and we did all of the arms and all of the weapons that are magnetized. Just like so. So with that, we're going to move on from that color. And the next thing we're going to do is probably the belt here, and any other leather pouches or saddlebags or things like that. So we're going to do that with a base coat of Rhinox hide, followed by a dry brush of Skrag brown. And that'll get us our nice worn leather look. So we're definitely going to use it on the belt and then anything else around. So we'll do that now and be back here in a few more minutes. So this is our Smash Captain now that we finished with the brown. And basically all we did here was the belt. So our next step is we're going to do a little bit of metallics here. So we're going to take a little bit of Balthasar gold and just do up the rounds in the chambers here, as well as add a little bit of a dry brush on the exhaust just to give them a little bit of color. And then same thing on that side, and a little bit of Retributor armor to do the iron halo over the top here to make that stand out a bit. So we'll do both of those now and meet back here in a few minutes once that's done. This is our Smash Captain now that we finished with the Retributor armor gold, as well as the Balthasar gold here. So we've added a little bit more brass and gold and notoriety to the model. We also did the hilt of the sword here, but your mileage may vary on whatever shield you have. So with that, we're almost ready to do our trim, which will be the last step, because the trim will clean up all of our messes. But before we do that, we're going to do this seat cover back here. So for the seat cover, it'll be a two-tone color. You don't have to do that. But we're going to take a little bit of Mephiston red, and then a dry brush highlight of Evil Sunz Scarlet. So we'll do both of those just to sort of bring out that and add a little bit of color to the model. While we're at it, we'll do the eyes of the model as well. They'll go a nice shade of red, and you can always Evil Sunz Scarlet a light spot in the middle. So we'll do that now and be back here in a few minutes once that's finished. So our Smash Captain is coming along quite nicely. So now that the red seat covers are done, they really stand out quite vibrantly here. So as he's driving, it just added a little bit more color to the model. So the other thing we did is we did the Astartes chainsword in red as well while we were at it. just to add a little bit more color if we happen to run the Teeth of Terror or one of those. So with that done, we're almost finished our model. What we're going to do now is the piece we've been waiting for. We're going to take some Stormhost silver, and we're going to go over all the trim on the shield, on the bike, on the armor, on the backpacks, the skulls, on all of the shoulder pads, and then on all of the shoulder pads on each of the arms. And in each case, there's something fancy on because it is a captain. So we'll do all of the trim and get all that finished. So that no matter which arm we're using, it does have some decoration on it. So we'll do our Stormhost silver trim and be back here in a few moments once that's all finished. So this is our Smash Captain now that we're finished with the model. So we clear coated him as well as based him. So with that, we're pretty much finished. His arms are all magnetized, and as you've seen, we've done all the different options. So we can run him in any way we like. Now, if yours turned out this well, please feel free to leave a comment or a like on the channel, or subscribe. That always helps. And otherwise than that, we will see you at our next painting video. If you want to see a few of the other options for arms or just the other angles, see the headlights and the backpacks and things like that, I'll have some more photos at the end of this, and you could just flip through and see whatever it is that you're looking for. Otherwise than that, we will see you at our next painting video, and hopefully you had as much fun watching as we had fun taping it. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.